Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Daisy Regrowth project. As you know, we've been making a woodland with all of your artwork, your paintings and your drawings and your designs. And through it, we have been trying to tell the story of these very unusual times. So far, we've related the woodland to things like thanking the NHS and shielding, wearing our masks, washing our hands, staying safe, and all of the funny things that are to do with lockdown as well, and lots more. This time we're going to make some weather, and we're going to try to relate it to the coronavirus itself. Now don't worry, we are just going to draw a little coronavirus. I don't know if you've seen a picture of it under microscope. It's very pretty actually. But we know that we have to shield ourselves from it, even though it is a very pretty little thing. Until there's a vaccine, that's what we have to continue doing. And scientists all over the world are working really hard to find that vaccine. And I don't know if you've heard the good news recently that our own team of scientists and other people are working in Oxford, and they're very close to finding a vaccine, and they've been testing it on volunteers from the National Health Service, and it's going really well. So fingers crossed, we might find a way out of all of this, all of our problems. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But until then, we have to shield ourselves, and we know that. And so we must include that in our woodlands. And I was thinking that we would do it through the weather, that we would draw some little coronavirus of our own and make it into raindrops. But we'll make these lovely strong umbrellas and shield ourselves from the corona rain. And then we'll design our own sun to dry up all the rain, and so it has a happy ending. Shall we get to work? Okay, so you will need something round to draw around. I'm using the lid of a poster tube, which is around about a good size. You don't really want anything too small because the design will be a little bit too fiddly. So have a nice circle and draw two lines coming out from the surface of the circle, or from the line of the circle. And then draw a little round blob on the top of those two lines, a little round circle on the top. And turn your paper and do the same all the way around. Keep turning the paper, that's quite important, because that way you'll always have them going in the right direction, which is really important for this design. Turn the page, do the lines, do the circle, leave a space. That's it. So my hand position doesn't really move, you see, but the paper does. Last one. Okay. So now I'm going to use an eraser and rub out a space in between each of those little spikes. I'll rub out a little space on the circle. And this is because I want to do a second row of those little spikes and I don't want them to have a line through them, so that's why I'm doing that. It's easier to do it at this stage than it is after you've drawn them. So little little space, that's it, and just brush away all of the little rubbings. Okay, so that's looking good. Now 2 lines, and it's exactly the same as we did on the outside of the circle, but this time we drop it down and it's halfway in and halfway out of the circle, and in the middle of the original spikes. Keep turning the paper in exactly the same way, and then your spikes are convincing because they're always facing the right direction. It makes it much more of a convincing drawing. I'm sorry that the camera keeps focusing in and out. I still haven't learned how to switch off that automatic focusing and I'm working very close to the camera, which is why it's struggling. Now I'm just filling in some of the lines where I've rubbed them out a bit too much, but you don't have to do this because when we do the painting, you know, you can't see that, so you know, don't worry about that, don't bother about that too much. Now I wanted to use paints because we are making this into rain, and I thought watercolour. And so if we all paint, it will look really nice with our rain, because I'm going to be putting all of our drawings together. And so you only need to do one. You can do more if you want, of course. And I'd love to receive them, but I mean, one is enough because I can repeat it and make it different sizes for you on the computer, and I can put it with everybody else's. And because everybody else's will be slightly different, I think it's going to look fabulous. Anyway, so I'm mixing up some red here, making it quite watery. And I just wanted to talk about paper actually before I start. You know, I'm using just photocopy paper here, so it's not ideal. With watercolour paints, it's best to use a watercolour paper or a thicker paper that's a little bit more absorbent. Now, I'm not able for this part to turn my paper, but to be honest, it would be a lot better if I could. So if you're able to still turn your paper while you're painting, then do that, but be careful not to put your hand into the wet paint. I'm just doing my spikes at the moment in red, pinky red, and I'm going to put some water in the purpley blue. Now you can do any colours you want. You don't need to do my colours. And you know, you can do whatever you want to do, whatever design you want to do on your little virus. And one of the things that I really like about the shape of it is that it is, you know, with those the photographs that we saw under the microscope, they are kind of like Christmas decorations, aren't they? They're really quite pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the outside a little bit and make it darker around the outside and leave the inside quite light so that it kind of looks a little bit more round. And I think I need to repaint some of the red bits because you know, the blue's gone over my inside spikes, so I'm going to just put them back in. That's better. Because they were quite important to the drawing. And I might as well, I'm going to put some spots in because if the spikes would be all around the virus, but when you look at it head on, you only see the tops of them. So I'm just putting some spots. Kind of wished I'd put them more in a circular shape rather than just random like that. But it's done now. I'm happy with it. It's fine. Just go over the outside ones a little bit, and there you go. And I feel you can see that it's a nice sphere shape. The next bit is for our lovely sturdy umbrellas to shield us. We need a ruler, a pencil, some glue, scissors, a piece of card, any piece of card to make a template. It can be from the cereal packet or something, and a piece of paper. And you need a magazine, a home one if you can find one. Don't forget to ask permission if you can. Cut some pictures out. Starting with your piece of card and your ruler and pencil, you're going to draw a very simple template. Now I'm using measurements, so if you need help with this bit, maybe you could ask your carer or your mum or dad. You need a straight line for the top of this triangle, and we're going to go to, I'm using 12 centimetres. And then I'm going to find the middle of that, which is 6, and I'm going to mark the middle of it. And then from that mark, I'm going to go down and I'm going to do 12.5 centimetres. So if you don't want to do the measurements, let me just write this down. That's 12 centimetres along that way. And this one down here is 12.5. So it's only a tiny bit longer than the top line. A tiny bit, not even 1 centimetre longer. So if you're doing it kind of by eye, just remember to make that bottom line, that vertical line, a tiny bit longer. And now you're going to join up the sides. Okay, that's one side. Writing, it doesn't matter. And joining up one end to the other, and that makes a beautiful triangle shape. Just the right kind of size that I need for my umbrella. Now before I cut it out, I've got to do one bit extra to this drawing. You make a mark just slightly under that top line on the middle line, and then draw a nice smile, a curved line, just like a little smile from one end to the other, all along that top line. And that's curved line, and that makes our kind of umbrella look like an umbrella. It doesn't look much like an umbrella at the moment because it's only one part of it, but it does become an umbrella. So I'm cutting it out now carefully, and then I have my template. There it is. It's a segment of an umbrella. Now put that to the side for a minute, because now I'm going to look for pictures of home, because to shield we've had to stay at home, so I'm just looking for nice pictures of home. I like that kettle, I might come back to that. So I've looked through it, this magazine. Some of the pictures aren't that great. I keep looking. I like this lamp and this kind of curtain behind it, so I think I might have that. So I grab my template and pop it over the top of what I like, and then get a fine liner and draw around it. This is why you need card, because it's easy to draw around a piece of card. There you can see. So now I'm going to cut it out. Let's tear the page out and then I can cut it out. You don't have to tear the page out. You could cut it if you're clever too. You could cut it while it's still in the magazine, and then you don't destroy all of the magazine. And cut that. And I'm going to do that 7 times. I need 7 pieces of umbrella, 7 pictures of home. Now, I'm going to use that chandelier like that. You know, I haven't got a chandelier in my home, but I'm going to have a chandelier on my home umbrella. Yeah, I think. Get my pen. Cut it out. And as I say, I do that 7 times, 7 pieces. And I just want to say that you can decide which way up to place the template so that the picture, you know, with the umbrella panels, some of them might be upside down, so you might just want to have a little think about which way up you're going to put your template. So I've made the video faster now so that I can whiz through looking at the pictures and selecting what I want on my shielding umbrella, my pictures of home, the ones that I want to stay at home with, and you'll do the same. I'll just get this last piece, which is a picture of that lovely, lovely kettle. So put your magazine away, and then just have a little practice of putting your pieces together. Now you'll need to put the points all together, so all the points go together of the triangle. Now I really wished I'd put that kettle the other way up. So that's what I meant about choosing which way you place your template on the magazine before you cut them out. So some of them are upside down, some of them the right way up. So it needs a little bit of thought. But they all fit together nicely. If they didn't, I could trim them up, and if there are gaps, I can fill them in. Now grab your magazine again, and we need to do a little contrasting colour for the middle of the umbrella. So draw a circle, find a colour and draw a circle, and cut it out carefully so that we can stick that over all of the points on the umbrella. And that's where it'll go, thereabouts. Okay, so I want you to grab some paper now, a piece of A4 paper, and put it in portrait position. And some of the umbrella panels will come outside of that paper. That's fine. So I'm just sticking down I'm just putting some glue on the tips of that because the tops of these pieces of the umbrella is sticking out and you want glue on your tape. And side by side with the points together and butt them up. And those two are completely sort of on the top, so the main part of it is on the paper and the tops of them are sticking out of the paper. Next bit, line it up, place it on. A bit more glue on this because a lot more of the paper is being used. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? You can see it really taking shape now. So my upside down kettle. Don't mind it though. I really don't mind it. You know, it doesn't matter what way up. You get the effect. Last piece. Now, if there are, as I said before, if there are any pieces overlapping, you can trim them off. And if there are gaps, don't worry, we can fill them in. And then my last bit is that little round bit. Look at that. Isn't that a lovely umbrella? Okay, and there's space at the bottom on the paper for us to do a little bit of drawing. I want to do some legs, some very simple legs. I'm going to do them 3 lines going down like that, and then I'm just going to do a little round bit going one way and then the other. It's feet. So simple. A pair of simple legs, and now it looks like somebody's behind that umbrella and shielding themselves from the corona. Okay, so photograph that for me. Now, if you've got gaps, like I've got a few little gaps there, I'm just going to fill them in with the black primer. And do you know what? I really like the way it just kind of, I like that line on it. It kind of gives it real, a punch. And it looks lovely. I really like that. A lovely umbrella. And now to design a sun. We're each going to do a sun each, and they're going to be put in several places on the video in our woodland. So take a look at these very simple designs. You can see the sun rays, and they're handled all in little different ways, these ones, but with kind of, almost like doodles, these ones. So you could do a very simple sun if you wanted, or you can start working into it and making it much more of a design. This is a beautiful abstract one, and I love this one with the geometrics colouring in. I love that. This design of it is so simple, but then with those geometrics inside, with those reds and those oranges, I think that's absolutely beautiful. And you can, one of the rules of making your sun is that you do it in yellows, but you can add other sun colours like the reds and the oranges if you need, and that kind of makes it quite beautiful. And here's another one that has reds and oranges. Look, little lines. That you could do that moving the paper around like we did with the coronavirus, those lines, so they're always in the right direction. Very effective. Or you could do a face on it. I love this face. Look, it's so calm and serene. I love that sun. And here's another face on the sun. And you could, when we did the self-portraits, you could use the rules that we had for that, where we got the eyes and the nose and the mouth in the right proportions, in the right place on the face. You could use those rules. I love that sun. Please don't put a background in the sun though, because I don't need a background, and it will make it easier for me not to have one. And then send me a picture of your coronavirus and a picture of your shielding umbrella with all of your home stay-at-home pictures on, and a picture of your design of the sun to this address. And thank you so much for joining in once again. Really enjoying all the pieces, all of your artwork that's coming through. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.